Today on the Diz List, we count down the top 5 attractions from around the world at Disney parks that we want to see in Orlando.
To the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and today we're going to talk about the attractions that we would like to see at Walt Disney World. So that means it's kind of hard to say because the word world is in both. So if you take all the Disney parks from around the world, think of all the fantastic attractions they have. Some of them are copies. Some of them are copies that are themed differently. So we're going to get into all the nuts and bolts of that. What would we like to see expand? Let's say they decide to do a 5th gate. Maybe they do. Maybe there's some attractions there that they could hit copy paste on. I won't even mention anything because we have quite a few that we can go over today. I have quite a few honorable mentions. So this is a big list. I'm going to try not to be too long-winded on my descriptions of these, and I'm going to invite people to go on to YouTube and just kind of take a look at some of these rides, not necessarily spoil the whole thing and watch the whole thing, but just kind of check them out. So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are that when I started doing the research for this, I was like, man, there's
so
some of
many
these parks. Yeah. And some of these parks, I'm like, I want that whole park.
I know. I think I know which one you're referring to. I kind of feel the same way. Well, originally I thought,
but I did a good job. I spread the love. I did spread the love completely.
I did too.
I didn't double up because I thought, because I very easily could have. I could have been like, pick up all of Disney Sea and drop it in Orlando, or pick up all of Shanghai and drop. You know what I mean? Like you can. There's lots of things you could do. Paris is a beautiful park too. So.
Yes.
But lots of news this week though.
Lots going on. Again, we only have our show's only usually about 45 minutes. This could be much longer.
Usually
the news segment. I mean, so Nick and I talk about this a lot too. So we're both teachers. Nick teaches math and I teach art, for those of you who are new to the show. If you are, thank you and welcome. But it's funny. We have periods. Some schools have blocks and other terms like that.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's funny that we get up and we'll teach 40, 45 minutes, somewhere around there. And it's funny that our show we're so used to it that we always kind of shoot for that amount of time. Like we have this like thing in the back of our heads that's like
internal clock. Yeah.
The internal clock, the bell's going to ring. It's the same reason we eat our lunches really fast too. Even if it's on the weekend, we're like,
teachers in the military. You can always tell if people were in the military or they were teachers based on how quickly they eat.
That's true. All right, let's get to the news. Today, we one of the interesting things for most people, I mean, it's bittersweet, I guess, for some people, but it's definitely a sweet emotion for me. And that is the last day for Aerosmith is tomorrow. You like
did
what
you
I did
really
there?
say that sweet emotion for you? Man.
You ever watch that show Pawn Stars where they do it's at the pawn shop, and after everything that they sell, the guy turns to the camera and says like the cheesiest pun ever. So I kind of worked that in there. Again, I didn't think that was hilarious, but anyway, it's definitely not a sweet emotion for me because I am not really a huge Aerosmith fan. Maybe you are, Nick, and you're just kind of placating me and making me feel like my disdain for Aerosmith. I've seen them in concert too, not on purpose. Well, because I'm a giant Kiss fan. And I don't think I've ever talked about this on the show before. Nick, you know this about me.
But it's okay.
I'm a huge Kiss fan.
Yeah.
Met the band, seen them innumerable times. Like, I love Kiss. And Aerosmith and Kiss did a dual headlining tour. I kind of saw them and stood there with my arms folded. Like, I'm standing in the back at a hardcore show, judging the Aerosmith in front of me. But I'm not a huge Aerosmith fan. But the last day for Aerosmith and Rock and Roller Coaster is Monday, March 2nd. So are you going to miss Aerosmith? You can be truthful here.
No, I'm not. Like, I don't dislike them. I know you dislike them. I don't
like
dislike
one
them.
song maybe.
But I'm not going to miss them. I'm going to miss. I will certainly miss that ride if it's not open when I go. But I'm not going to miss them. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's open. Maybe they get stuff done quickly. I can't. Like, they've already done the refurbishment of the track system, right? They did that last year when it was closed for a long time.
They said they refreshed the paint job too?
Yeah. So I don't know what they're putting in. We certainly know that they're changing that pre-show, but that's been closed and they've been working behind those walls for a while now.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what more they have to do. I really
And my
don't.
first thought was maybe they're going to recycle some of the things from Muppet Vision and bring it over there, but there's still a rumor that Muppet Vision is going to go into the Lightning McQueen villains show building too. That's another rumor that we're hearing. So I don't know. There might be a
Yeah.
rumor that we made up.
I
Did we
don't
make
think
up
so.
that rumor?
I don't think so.
I can't remember anymore.
I don't think we made up any rumors. We said we thought it would be a good fit, and then on the Disney Dish, I heard them talk about the fact that they might be bringing a Muppet show into that theater and moving villains to Villains Land.
Okay. Some of the stuff we like blue sky and we're like, what would we do if? And then sometimes we actually hear these reports.
Coaster. The fact that it's going to be a Muppets coaster, that was us.
That was us. That is true. Now, on a related note, Dinosaur is now closed. We didn't talk about this too much, but if there's anybody, any longtime listeners like Jessica who've been with us since the very beginning, probably Mikey, we have a few people.
Stacy.
Nick and I, Stacy.
Stacy recommended this comp.
That's true. Shout out to Stacy. That's right. We talked about this at work the other day.
Yeah.
We had a long-standing joke that on the dinosaur ride, when you walk in, used to be sponsored by McDonald's. So there's 3 pipes. There is a red pipe, a yellow pipe, and a white pipe, and that represents ketchup, mustard, and mayo. And we did this episode went completely off the rails. Nick and I argued for probably 20 minutes about what the best condiment is for hamburgers. Remember this?
It was a condiment, period.
Right. Best condiment. We did a poll. We had everybody vote. And then we ended up doing our top 3. Anyway, so I'm going to miss that. And then my follow-up question for you, because I know you're going to miss it too. I don't have to ask you. I already know it. My question for you is, do you think there will be a nod? I'm sure there'll be some kind of nod to dinosaur in that Indiana Jones ride that's taken the spot. Do you think there'll be any nod to that, to those 3 colored pipes? My answer is yes, something small somewhere. What do you think?
That's a good question. Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there'll be a nod to that, because that was a nod to the fact that the McDonald's was, you know what I mean? But I don't think
it just became such a funny thing that people, maybe it's just funny to us, and we're hoping that makes its way into the queue somehow.
Look, it made for a good show debate. I'm still right.
We're going to have to find that.
Mustard, mayo, ketchup in that order.
One of these weeks where maybe one of us is on vacation, we're unable to do a full Patreon. Let's find that clip and make that. That'll be one of the. Do you? Let's cut that out and do that as one of our Patreon.
I think
episodes.
I put it into our into some of the audio for our 100th episode.
Awesome, that's great.
Which we're coming up on 200. Holy,
we are.
Wow.
We got a plan for that too. We got a lot of planning between March Madness, which we'll talk about at the end here. Another thing that they were showing some just interviews about kind of the ride system. We haven't talked about this very much either, is the new door coaster, Monsters Inc. door coaster. There was a video posted from one of the official Disney, maybe Imagineering sites, just kind of talking about the ride system, how it was different, how the ride system pulls you up. So there's one system that pulls you up, and then there's a second that latches on, and then you kind of move from there. So they talked about the sort of the marriage of these 2 different ride systems, and that was really unique. And I thought, we haven't talked about that very much either. And I know you are too, but I'm very excited about this land and this ride opening up. I mean, did you see that video at all? I mean, it wasn't groundbreaking, but I just found it interesting. Yeah,
I did. I think so. I'm really excited for this land for a couple reasons. One, I think we're going to get a really good table service restaurant out of it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
it'll be sushi.
I think Harryhausen's is going to have a sushi theme. Yeah.
I would love that.
I think that ride is going to be remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a big deal. And I think that, what we're hearing is Disney has really decided they want to do it right. They don't want to do anything that they're doing right now. They don't want to do any of that halfway. They want to do it right. And so
good.
That's never a bad thing. It might mean it takes longer, but they want to do it right. So I'm looking forward to it. That ride system, I can picture it and I can understand it, but the physics behind I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I
want to see the track layout too, because that building is not big and it's not small, but it's the same thing with Guardians.
Well, that building's pretty big.
but you're not in the dark. Like in Guardians, you're in the dark, so like you don't really see the track next to you when you're flying around. Same thing with Space Mountain. So,
well, I think here you're supposed to see everything because they're supposed to be the doors.
and you can see the track everywhere too.
Well, you could,
In Slinky,
because
you can.
Yes, but in the movie, you see the track that the doors are on
because that's part of the factory. You mean?
Right. So
Okay.
like,
all right.
Like,
do you see what I'm saying though? I thought,
yeah,
they were going to try.
What I'm saying is it doesn't take you out of doesn't ruin the illusion. If anything, it helps the illusion.
I think you're right.
Track.
I think you're right. I think in my mind, I'm always thinking of like that Disney magic and trying to hide that away. But your point is correct. According to, we'll say, canon of Monsters Inc., that track would be there. So I think that's the fair way to put it. Next one is Holiday Ever After, a Disney World Wish Come True. The Hallmark movie just finished filming. Did you watch the Buffalo Bills one?
Yeah.
You did?
Unfortunately.
I thought it was equally awesome and awful. But now, follow-up question. I'm assuming you're going to watch this one too. This one, I don't know if I'm more excited. I mean, you and I are both big Buffalo Bills fans, but I'm probably equally excited if I'm being honest, because like the Bills one had a bunch of players in it. This one will just have, I mean, it probably will have like Mickey and Minnie in it or something, but you know, Walt Disney is not going to be making a guest appearance in this movie. So will you be watching this when it comes out?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not a big Hallmark Christmas movie.
Well, I'm not a Hallmark. My wife loves them. I'm not a Hallmark fan, period. But I watched the Bills one. But all right, we don't have to spend too much time on that.
We'll see.
So I want this next bit that I'm going to mention. I would like to spend most of our Patreon episode talking about this. So if you're not a patron and you find this conversation interesting, please hop over to our Patreon page and you can join up either for free or join up for less than a cup of coffee. And here's what we're going to talk about. There was some, I don't want to call it gossip. I don't want to call it a feud. What do we call it? Drama or tea? What do the kids call it? Tea these days?
Yeah, spilling the tea.
So there was a podcast that we love and we definitely recommend to our listeners out there. And it's called The Disney Dish with Jim Hill and another gentleman, Len Testa, who runs Touring Plans. And we're not affiliated with either one. It just, these are podcasts we really enjoy and they do an excellent job. So on that podcast, they made some claims about Villain's Land and how all that construction project is going. Okay.
Right.
And
this is like as you're listening to us, it's about 2 weeks ago.
Right. So then there was another news organization that it's called WDW News Today. And there's a gentleman named Tom Corliss who runs that. And I have to say it exactly because I have it here in a tab that it says rumor debunked. Villain's Land was already big and bold. Villain's Land hasn't changed. So that's what his news outlet said. So what has happened is we have these two people that are kind of, well, not really two people, because I don't think Len even cares. But
I think he did care.
You think so?
He said, like the way he broke it down was, there's a difference between a dark ride like Shanghai Pirates and a dark ride like Winnie the Pooh. Like he made a comment, something like that.
Yeah.
To basically throw shade at Tom, saying, you say they haven't changed things because there already was going to be a coaster and there already was going to be a dark ride. I'm saying that the changes they've made are changes because those two rides are not the same. And you can't equate them. You can't say that. And then the way he finally broke it down was, if that's the case, then you must still like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway for the same reasons you like the Great Movie Ride, because if you feel that that's not a change, when they completely change what they're doing, that is a change. And so I think he heard Tom say specifically that rumor debunked. It was already big and bold. Well, yeah, it was big and bold, and now they're going even bolder.
Yes,
and they were very careful. Like I believe them because he was very careful not to mention any specific IP. Now, since that episode has aired, we have had some leaks, and that's what we're going to talk about on the Patreon show this week.
Some very interesting and specific ride themes. They've even said, we'll talk about that on Patreon.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on Patreon.
Yeah. So. Nick, I'd like you to end here before we go, or not end, but before we
I get
go
what
to
you're
the
saying, yeah.
halftime show,
Yep.
can you kind of go over our March Madness? I want to give you a quick shout out because these brackets were awesome and your matchups were so hard in the best way. It was so much fun. I've gotten so many messages, and I guessed it over with Ear Scouts on their show, and I had so many people on their show saying this is so hard. These are really difficult to pick winners in each category.
Yeah.
So can you give our listeners a little bit about our, we call it Disney Madness, or our bracket that we're doing?
Basically, our bracket that we do every month or every March, we randomly assign different rides, attractions, restaurants, whatever, against each other and then vote. Now, in the past, what we've done is we've done it on on our slide, or on our story, I should say, on Instagram. This year, I made a form that's accessible in our stories, in our link that is in our bio on Instagram, or if you go to Patreon. If you go to Patreon, you can click there. It's available to everybody there. It's public. We're going round for round. Each round is 3 days of voting, and I took 8 things from each park. So we took 8 things from each park and matched them up. So you've got thrill rides, and for instance, one of the first round matchups. You'll have to tune in next week to hear how this stuff went out. One of the first round matchups was Pirates versus Haunted Mansion.
Man, I know. And it was so close too.
Yeah. We had a couple that came down to 2 or 3 votes.
Yes, I know.
One of them came down to 1 vote.
1 vote. You showed me. That was wild.
So we'll talk about that next week's episode, but it's a lot of fun. Something we enjoy doing every year. But we're going to head off to the halftime show, which, like always, is brought to you by our patrons over on patreon.com/DizListPod. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. We've been seeing some growth, and that's because of you. So we're going to head off to the halftime show, and we'll see you right after this. Welcome back. On this half of the show, we're going to talk about the top 5 rides around the world that we want to see brought to Orlando and be in our Disney World Resort rides lineups. There's a lot of really great rides around the world that are not they're not even copy and paste. They are not 1-for-1 swaps. So it's going to be fun. I think this will be a good one.
Those of you who are new to the show, Nick and I, most of the time, we don't really compare lists. Very occasionally do we do, there's a specific reason why we have to, but there's so many great rides in all of the Disney parks that, I mean, obviously in Orlando, there's incredible rides too. But I have really no idea where we're going to match up. I think we're going to match up with our number 1, because I know you and I both have a... Really?
I don't think we do.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised by that.
No, I think the one that you're thinking of is my number 2.
Okay. That's fair. I'm going to start with number 5, and I do have quite a bit of honorable mentions. And as I said in the first half of the show, I'm going to try not to be too long-winded about all these rides, and I'm going to give you a little bit of info about it. And we invite you to look up these rides and get some more information, because on audio podcast, if you've never seen it, go on and check it out. Okay, so we'll do our best to talk up the rides. So my number 5, these are all really great, and I could put these in any order, but my number 5 is going to be the Beauty and the Beast ride at Tokyo Disney. Now, this ride is incredible. It's a dark ride. There is technology that people have been analyzing where the Beast, or the prince, turns into the Beast, or opposite way around. Yeah. And just if you watch the ride through of this, it's absolutely beautiful. It's not a thrill ride. My best way to describe it is take any beautiful dark ride, and then it's trackless too. I forgot it's a trackless ride, right?
It is.
It is just, it's like the perfect representation of that movie in dark ride form. Completely smooth, everything about it. The songs are incredible. Like, that movie is just, it's one of my favorites, and just seeing it come to life and hearing those songs. I mean, just that time period of Disney with Aladdin and Lion King, and
that was like a resurgence right there,
man. But as far as like Disney music, to me, that's the pinnacle. You know, those songs and that era, I mean, you can't beat it. I didn't even say Little Mermaid because that was the first one of all of them there that I mentioned. But yeah, I would say my number 5 here is the Beauty and the Beast ride. Oh, and the animatronics are unreal good. They're some of the best that we've seen. Like Belle looks like a cartoon come to life. It's incredible. And it's sort of similar technology that they did on when they just refurbished the Frozen ride. So I think they look similar there.
Yeah, and speaking of similar, this is my number 5, so we can just keep going.
Perfect.
I think that this ride is what we deserve for a Beauty and the Beast attraction. When you consider what we have like a sing along. Now, I will say, Enchanted Tales with Belle is cute and it's fun to do for young children. You know, you yourself might be picked to be something, and I was picked to be a knight, which was so fun.
We both wanted, my son and I wanted to be, but we did not get chosen. That's fine.
So, but you know, we don't have a real Beauty and the Beast attraction, and I think this would be great. I could have rated it higher because we don't have that, and I would like to see it. The thing is that I think one of the reasons I didn't rate it any higher is just because when you look at some of the other stuff that I have on my list, it's even more remarkable. Although this is like top notch. It's beautiful. The technology and the projection mapping is amazing.
It is.
The animatronics, like you said, are great. So I'm not going to repeat all the same stuff you did, but I agree with you that this is wonderful. So that means that we're going to go to your number 4 now because.
Yep.
Go ahead.
My number 4 is, well, there's a couple that are similar. So Haunted Mansion sort of exists in this like magical, like horror, scary, but in a lot of other countries, you're smiling. No way. Are you serious?
Go on.
My God.
Go on.
Nick's making a face.
Go ahead.
So Haunted Mansion exists in different forms, and different cultures look at death in different ways. So in Hong Kong, they have Mystic Manor. Okay. And Mystic Manor is sort of modeled after the Haunted Mansion. But if you look at the exterior of the building, it sort of has that sort of feel like it's in like the Middle East almost. It has like you have to go in and watch it. I'm not gonna describe it. Yeah, exactly. It's it's beautiful. And so the ride kind of follows this monkey and it goes through this museum house and the animatronics and the projections, and you're making a face. Do I pass this to you right now?
Is
this what this means?
Enjoying you talk about Mystic Manor over in Hong Kong.
Okay. So but there's a few. There's another one that I can't even think of what the other title of it is. It's not Mystic Manor. It's something else. It has a name that's similar.
I thought it was Mystic Manor. I thought that's what
but there's another one. I'll have to look it up here if and when you begin talking in a second. That there's another one with a similar ride, and it has a different name. I'm going to come back to this in a little bit. But Mystic Manor,
I'm just gonna look. It's not a secret. You can tell. We matched up again.
Okay,
but Mystic Manor in Hong Kong is quite remarkable, and what I like about it is its tie into the Society of Explorers and Adventurers.
Right, I forgot about that.
So it's like my favorite restaurant at Magic Kingdom is Jungle Skipper's Canteen, right? And there's a SEA room there. There's the Societies of Explorers and Adventurers. I just think it's really kind of a cool nod to that, but it's also just this amazingly well-themed version. This is not Haunted Mansion. Let's just get that out there. This is not Haunted Mansion. This is something completely different. It is their stand-in for a Haunted Mansion, but it's not Haunted Mansion. It has its own storyline. There's just some, I guess, I don't know how to describe it other than to say, there's like a little mischievous monkey. And I don't really understand it, but like
it's completely unique. And even though it's built on the bones of Haunted Mansion, side note, I just looked up really quick. It's also Paris. In Paris, it's Phantom Manor.
Correct.
So that's what I was trying to think of. I knew it was close, but slightly. That was the name I was trying to come up with. I had to.
It's a trackless ride system again.
Yes, and it's absolutely incredible. And I mean, I'm not always a guy who wants to go in it and spoil a total ride. I mean, Nick and I were really good about that when Cosmic Rewind came out because we wanted to ride it fresh and not be able to see it, and we did. Nick and I wrote it together, and it was an amazing experience. But some of these, actually all of these, if I'm being totally honest here, I've watched ride-throughs of because I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to go to these other parks. Maybe I will.
Right.
You know, it's it's hard for us. I mean, we have families and we're both teachers, so it's not quite as accessible.
Yeah, I mean
One of
that's
them on my list is one is, but the rest of
okay.
them aren't really. But Mystic Manor is really cool. So go on and check out that ride if you want. I mean, I think there were rumors for a while, and I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I can't remember now if these are our things we wish or they're actual rumors, but Mystic Manor would be such a cool addition if they brought that to Animal Kingdom, because you're following this like mischievous monkey. You know what I mean? You could plug that right in because the exterior of the building doesn't really look like the exterior of the building of Haunted Mansion. They
No.
could exist in the same, I don't want to say same universe, but in the same Walt Disney World park system.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Dumbo and Aladdin in the same park. You know, if you put Mystic Manor over in Animal Kingdom, it would work great with the mischievous monkey, you know?
Yeah, or you could just slightly retheme it somehow so that it's
Mhm.
not completely
Or theme it
Haunted Mansion-esque. You know what I mean?
to one of the locations in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
Theme it to
absolutely.
Asia, you know?
Absolutely.
You could.
But yeah, I mean, when you started saying this, I was like, are we kidding? We're gonna
Well,
match up on this one too.
Let's see where we go from here. This is going to mean more people are going to need to go to Spotify or YouTube and watch the video version so you can see Nick's reaction.
Yeah.
So let's see if we get another reaction out of Nick again. Or maybe he's going to be a poker face. You're a poker player. I'm not. So let's
I'll
see
put
here.
my poker face on. Go.
Okay. My number 3, I have ridden this one. This is one that I have actually ridden. And this is the Incredicoaster, which we absolutely loved. And the Incredicoaster is themed to The Incredibles. It used to be called California Screamin', and it's at Disney's California Adventure Park. It is a wooden and steel roller coaster where it inverts once, you go upside down, but it doesn't really feel like you go upside down. It's very fast. But I want to say the best thing and why this is number 3 for me is because of the story. There's a great story. They're not really animatronics. They're more like sculptures, kind of like the Buzz Lightyear outside of Alien Swirling Saucers. But you're kind of in the hunt for baby Jack Jack through the entire ride.
Right.
And I truly feel this is one of the best stories in any Disney ride. It's so easy to follow because you know you're after Jack Jack. You see the characters along the way, and then at the end there's a resolution. You see baby Jack Jack. It's like there's a conflict. You go through the ride, and then there's closure at the end. It's a lot of fun. I personally think this is an easy copy paste. You can always retheme it. We kind of thought that this might be something they would do when they did the Maleficent coaster, but we don't even know if Maleficent's going to be the coaster anymore. So, all right, Mr. Poker Face.
We didn't match up.
That's good. That's good. I'm good with that. I mean, it'd be funny, but I don't know if we ever had exactly the same.
Not for
we'd have to ask Jessica. She knows all that stuff.
Journey to the Center of the Earth at Tokyo Disney Sea.
Excellent.
So, first off, that whole land is really cool.
Amazing.
And
amazing.
That whole like steampunkish, like Jules Verne stuff.
Awesome.
I love it. This ride is just remarkable. You've watched ride-throughs of it, right?
I watched a ride-through yesterday. Well, because it's all just, I was researching all the ones that I have on my list and honorable mention.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, first off, I grew up, like I read that book as a kid. Well, you know what I mean? Young adult, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a remarkable ride. The way that to me, it really brings to life that idea, right? That you're going to the center. I mean, the speed, it's basically the same launch system as, I think it's the same launch system as Test Track. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you get to that part where you see the creature or whatever it is, that's when you launch. That's when you go like 60 miles an hour. Maybe not that fast. That's a get the.
Yeah. Like the fact that you're doing that, but you're not getting launched outside, you're getting because that's fast. You're going pretty hard. The fact that it's like, you've got the whole idea of like the volcano in that land there and stuff like that. And the shaking and the the story, right? You have the story of everything going on. I mean, first off, when you have a ride that has a height requirement, you know it's going to be a little bit more thrilling. So there's that.
Yeah.
And so this one definitely has that. It's a ride that if they brought to the States would be super successful.
Yeah.
You could put that one in Epcot. Honestly, I know it doesn't, but like Journey to the Center of the Earth, that idea of the Earth and like the exploration side of things that they could be going with.
Yep.
It could go there. You could put it in Tomorrowland. You could even put it potentially in an Animal Kingdom if you just do a slight retheme the ride system itself. It wouldn't have to be Journey to the Center of the Earth in that case. This is a ride that would work in lots of different places.
Agree.
So I would love to see them bring something like it, even if it's rethemed. Just that launch system. I mean, on Test Track, I love it. Except for Test Track is, okay, yeah. I just rode in a car rode in a convertible at 65 miles an hour. Like, I can do that in the highway.
I'm gonna jump in because this is my number 2.
Okay,
so
cool.
we kind of match up on this one too. Here's how I described it after watching that video again. It is if you combined Navi River Journey and Test Track into one ride, because the first, you know what I mean? So if you picture in your head Navi River Journey, all the beautiful colors and it's like that too. There's mushrooms and crystals and there's this like ethereal sounds are happening and music. It's just beautiful. And I'm guessing just by watching, but it seems like the ride system is pretty smooth, unlike the original Test Track where it was kind of herky jerky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The system seems smooth and you're turning and you can't always see where you're going. You're going up over hills and down. Like it seems like it's very, very well designed and it looks very smooth to me. But I had that at number 2. I've always been just amazed by that animatronic, and I don't know what the name of the creature is. I mean, I'm familiar with the book. I didn't have to read it when I said have to. I didn't read it when I was younger. We had to read certain books, but I don't know the name of this specific creature. But the other thing I was thinking about when I was watching it, and tell me if you thought of this too. You're going at, let's say, X miles an hour, right? Maybe couldn't even give you a guess. 5, I don't know, right? You're going a certain speed. Do they have cameras down there ready to launch you when you get to that creature? Because there's got to be multiple cars down there. And do you think there's again, let's use your math term, there's X amount of space between the 2 different cars? Or can it be like where you're on Tiana and all the logs get all, like a log jam? Actually, no pun intended.
Quaint little log jam.
Yeah, right. What do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know why that popped in my head. I guess I was thinking, if I'm launching to 60 miles an hour,
right?
How close am I to the car in front of me?
What if you're both getting launched at 60 miles an hour?
That's true. Because that's like you would in the Cars ride. You both launched. But
it's not like one person's traveling
parallel.
60. Well, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
The rates are the same. The rates of change are the same. So therefore, you'll never catch up.
Jeez, look at me. I'm a math.
You know what? I never thought of talking about it in the sense of it's Navi River Journey for the first part. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the color, the vibe, everything.
Yeah.
And I love that vibe. And I know you're not a huge fan of that ride, but a lot of that for you is based on the weight is ridiculous. I don't think you dislike that ride because I know you love the shaman at the end too.
Yeah, I think it's a great ride. It's short, first of all.
Yeah.
But it's a good dark ride, but not, I wish there was something else. And this would be the something else. That would be cool.
True. So now we're on to your number 2 because we sort of matched up 2 and 3 there. So we're on what you have for 2.
So one of the things that you'll notice with mine is some of them are kind of like Mystic Manor, right? Mystic Manor is kind of it's not a 1-for-1 swap, but it is in a way a swap for Haunted Mansion, right? My number 2 is one that is not a 1-for-1 swap because of how grandiose it is. But the reason I don't put it to 1 is because it is kind of already in existence in some form in our park. And so my number 2 is Pirates of the Caribbean from Shanghai. This is
your comment before we started. I figured that out. And I really want to hear what you have to say here. This is interesting.
Why I didn't put it to 1?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't put it to 1. The only reason I didn't put it to 1 is because we have a Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
And so this is not as big of my number 1 is one that does not exist in our world. The ride system doesn't exist in our world.
Mhm.
The ride IP doesn't exist as what it is in our world. So that's why my number 1 is what it is, and why this got bumped down to 2, because I had a hard time. It was like a coin. This could have been 1 because it is the most remarkable Pirates in all of the world, and Pirates is leaps and bounds my favorite classic Disney dark ride, 100%. So I would love this ride, but I also recognize that it would replace my current favorite dark ride of all time.
Mhm.
So that's, you know what I mean? This ride, how do you even describe how grandiose this was? The engineering feats that like to make you feel like you're underwater, like
Right.
you have got the story
That's the difference.
the story is different. Like you are underwater. You're part of. You've been brought down to Davy Jones's locker. You know, you are there. I suspect that we might see something this ambitious being built in Villains Land.
Yep.
I think that this is the level of dark ride that they're going to be building there.
Yeah.
This is the most ambitious Pirates ever built, and it succeeded on so many levels. If you haven't watched a ride through this, you need to. And I'll go one further. Don't watch a ride through. Just go to Disney Plus and watch the track behind the attractions
I was just going
show
to say that
about Pirates, because
yes,
you
learn so much.
The story of like how one turned to another, and now every park has their own version in some way, shape, or form. And then when they get to Shanghai, you're like, oh, my goodness. So, yeah. I'm not going to talk too much more because I know that you're about to say number 1. Go ahead.
Right. And before, the reason I said what I said before Nick started is I'm very interested because this is my number 1. And we've talked about this on the show, and then behind the scenes, we chat about this ride a lot too. It's one of our favorites. So I assumed that it was. I'm very interested now in what his number 1 is, but this ride, and Nick said it, I just want to kind of reiterate a couple things. The fact that the narrative for Pirates of the Caribbean is, what are these pirates doing on the surface of the water, right? So these Imagineers thought, okay, let's take it a step further. We're going to make it seem like you're going underwater. Like there's a scene where you turn and you see mermaids. Like that wasn't, it couldn't even be part of the ride. I mean, it could, but I don't think it would be done in a way like that. The projections are incredible.
Yeah.
You're actually on water, so if there's a splash or something, you can hear the water. Like that really takes you into it as well, and it is just absolutely fantastic. And I honestly feel like watching this on YouTube, I don't think you're really going to get how grandiose this thing is when you're there in real life. It's like when you watch Rise of the Resistance, right?
Yes.
When you're going into that room with the AT-AT, the big walker things. When you go into that room, you're like, oh, cool, and nothing. But when you shoot up in that elevator and you see these giant like Star Wars vehicles, it's you can't really understand it until you're there. Now, I haven't been there. I haven't been to Shanghai before. I would love to, in 6 years or so when I'm retired, I'd love to go out there and do something like that. Hopefully the ride still exists in that form. But for me, that's my number 1 thing that I want to do the most. And I'll end with this. I'm not arguing your point where it already exists in the park. I'm agreeing with that point, but we have Toy Story attractions that exist in Magic Kingdom, and we have Toy Story attractions that exist in Hollywood Studios. So maybe Pirates of the Caribbean is 2
of them are very close.
Do you see what I'm saying? It is. Yeah. It's a franchise at this point. It is a giant multi-million-dollar, maybe billion-dollar, probably franchise. Take that ride and put it in Hollywood Studios, and then you focus on the movie magic behind that specific ride. Is it possible to have more than one? Sure. I mean, we could throw another Star Wars ride in any park. We've said before, Nick and I are both big Star Wars fans. You could put a Star Wars ride in every single park and make it fit in some way, shape, or form, right? Even Animal Kingdom, because they had Fantastic Beasts, you could put in really
Ewoks,
any of the...
Go to Endor.
Ewoks, you ride the Tauntauns, maybe you have
Spend the night
a
in one.
Rain Corps or something, like, who knows? I just think it would work. So I'm going to stop here because I'm very, very interested in what you decided to put for your number one here.
So you're going to be shocked. And I think that people will probably think that this is silly, but my number one is Crush's coaster from Paris.
Oh,
It is.
I didn't even think of that.
It is a pretty intense ride.
And there's nothing like it. You're right.
It has a extremely unique ride system with the free rotating cars. It's not a children's coaster, right? I mean,
No.
they have a 107 centimeter height, which is, I believe, like 42 inches. I'd have to double check, but it's like 42 inches. It's pretty intense. I've seen some of the ride through, like because in Disneyland Paris, you can't film on those rides, but they've released their video. Everybody who rides it says, wow, that is like a crazy good coaster. We don't have a great Nemo presence. We have a ride that's, the last time I was on it was failing. Half the things weren't working.
Me too. Yeah, we rode it in August. It wasn't great.
So, like, there's that. You could put that coaster there and still have the aquarium. There's a lot of real estate over in that area, actually.
Yeah, to the right of the seas, that's sort of, that butts up against like the bus parking back there. That would work. Yeah, and it's not very large, the footprint, right?
No. I mean, and if you really wanted to get into it, it could go into Hollywood Studios. And I mean, since Pixar is basically now living there,
sure,
you could do something like that. Crush is an amazing character.
Awesome character.
Turtle Talk with Crush is always, well received. This ride, I think, is just remarkable. I've been doing a lot of research lately about Disneyland Paris, and so that could be recency bias, and that's why it's so high on my list.
No, that's fine.
But I just think that because it's so unique, look, we don't have anything. The closest thing we kind of, maybe you could have said had to it was Primeval World.
Primeval World, right? Yeah, that was fun.
Like
you didn't get to do that, right?
No, but that's like the closest that we've had to that free rotating car. Like, I think that's just like, I mean, I guess you technically could call Cosmic Rewind like that, but it doesn't rotate completely around.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not free. Like, that's part of the ride system, turning you to see things. I don't know. I personally think it's a great coaster. And the reason, like I said, that I want that and not Pirates at one is because it's completely unique.
Yeah.
It does not exist in our world. We have remarkable dark rides. We have trackless ride systems. Like, we have those things. So that's why the other ones didn't go up to the top, but we don't have a coaster that just does what that coaster does. So
yeah.
Plus, I love that IP.
Well, these other ones I have on my honorable mention, if you don't mind getting to this now.
Let's do them.
I mean, all of them except for one are really something that we kind of already have already. So Tangled Dark Ride is so similar to the dark rides we have already, but it's great. It almost made my number 5. I just think Beauty and the Beast is a little bit more something that we need. I had Radiator Springs Racers, which is nearly identical to Test Track, but it's an excellent ride. I love that version of it with cars so much better, just because I like the Cars characters, and to me, it's more interesting than what they do in Test Track. Mission Breakout, I prefer that version of it also, just because it's funny and thrilling at the same time, and those Guardians of the Galaxy characters are great. With having one of my, if not my favorite of all attractions at Disney World being Guardians of the Galaxy, bringing in another one is almost kind of overkill. I don't know, but I just love that ride too. Mr. Toad, I love, but Mr. Toad's ride system is nearly identical in Winnie the Pooh at this point. And then the only one on my list that they don't have at all, and it probably one you wouldn't even think about, used to be at California Adventure and they got rid of, but it was the Heimlich Choo Choo Train. And it was just, there isn't a lot of stuff for really young kids. So most of this list is selfish. Okay. It's about what I want. This one is, we don't really have, I mean, at Disneyland, they have a lot of stuff for younger kids. this would be a really easy one to just copy paste and throw in anywhere, really. I mean, and if you think about it, if you think of the way Bugs Life was, they were a circus. You could put that into the circus in Magic Kingdom. I don't know. Let's hope Imagineers are listening and we'll go, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I wanted to go quickly through my honorable mentions because I know this is a longer episode.
You said a lot of what I had on my honorable mention, with the exception of, I think the Tower of Terror in Paris just looks absolutely terrifying. Like I would like to do that one. I don't know if you've ever watched any of the ride-throughs there.
I haven't actually, no.
It's like absolutely terrifying. So I think that'd be a fun one to have. And then also the Winnie the Pooh's Honey. It's the trackless Winnie the Pooh ride over in Tokyo. Can't remember the name of it exactly, but
I don't think
that
I've
one
watched it.
I've seen that ride through. Looks pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
It's routinely has like a wait time of like one of the highest in the parks. Imagine Winnie the Pooh having one of those, like that kind of a wait time.
Must be good then.
You know, but everything else you said, I agree. So those were also, except for the Heimlich. I didn't even think about that one. But the
it's not even there anymore. So
right, yeah. But the other, I'm just saying, the other rides that you mentioned, other than that one, I had also had, like, I would love to have Mission Breakout, but is that too much? Guardians, you know what I mean? And like, those are all good.
I think the Tangled ride you could add, and that could easily go into Magic Kingdom. It's different enough.
And who knows?
Radiator Springs Racers.
When the Frozen Land opens up in Paris, like, I'm sure we'll have rides that we want from there too. So it'll be interesting. Well, guys, thank you so much. This was a fun episode. Thank you to Stacy for suggesting it. This was a little bit of a gap filler in between our, the last show we had done, and I know this is coming out in March. Our Disney March Madness brackets really are going to start next week. After this comes out, that's okay, because the real tournament does that too. So
that's true.
We're going to go park by park with those. So that'll be 4 shows. That'll be a lot of fun. But thank you guys so much. It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.